Hey everybody, today we are going to talk about an important topic that is called inversion. We use an important and special structure that is explained in the next four examples. These examples are going to be in active voice on the whiteboard, but you can also see the right answer on your screen, of course using inversion.
Are you ready for it?
So let's get started with this. In this first example, we are using a sentence that requires an auxiliary. So when we do the inversion, we have in the first position the negative adverbial, then we have the auxiliary verb, and finally we have the subject. In our example on the whiteboard, you can see Xai Xai hadn't realized she could die until she tried to breathe underwater. In this case, Xai Xai is the subject, so we need to change it with the auxiliary verb. In the inversion, we have finally, no sooner had Xai Xai tried to breathe underwater, she realized she could die. In English, there are some tenses that don't need an auxiliary to explain the action of the verb. In this case, we have a present simple with a negative adverbial that it's seldom. To do the inversion, you need to put the negative adverbial in the first position, then you would need an auxiliary, then in this case it will be does, because we are talking about the third person in singular, and in present simple we have to use do and does as auxiliaries. To continue with the explanation, we have the third example. In this one, we have a sentence with the verb to be. In this case, the verb to be will become the auxiliary when we do the inversion. It is also important to notice that the negative adverbial under no circumstances is at the beginning of the sentence. This adverbial cannot be used in the middle of a sentence. It is important to know that under no circumstances will always be at the beginning of a sentence. For this last example, we have the words only until. These words are going to work like our negative adverbial. It is important to mention that in this case we have a sentence with two clauses. We have a dependent clause and an independent clause. Only until will work with the dependent clause. In this case we have in the example only until Alexia ate grass, comma, and then we have the inversion with the independent clause. Did she know it tasted like lemon?